find a shot of revenge and make him a transgender baby.
I think they don't like the things that I'm saying and they want me to stop saying them, but I'm not. I'm never going to stop. Now, these are the kind of stories, guys, that must be told. I'm just a guy who's breaking stories and reporting news from my basement.
What's up, Turtle Riders? How's everybody doing tonight? Good, excellent. Welcome to the Turtleboy Live Show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Uncle Turtleboy. It's kind of my show here. I have gone ahead and shared the link to this stream on the various social media platforms that we currently operate. And again, I don't know what I got to do to get you people to follow me. It was so easy to get followers like 5 years ago when they were kicking me off of Facebook. I could start a new page and immediately 10,000 people, no problem. Now they let me stay on there for almost a year now. The Turtleboy Sports Facebook page has been up, and you know, I think we cracked 21,000. But that should, like, if I ever knew that I could get a full year of Facebook, I'd be like 50 grand, no problem. We'll be at 100 grand in 2 years, done. So go ahead and like those pages if you haven't already. I know the 80,000 people out there who like the previous page. You got to be somewhere. Go like the page, okay? I share this stuff on there. Interact with the page as much as possible. Like it, share it, comment on it, whatever you got to do. So, again, the Clarence Woods Emerson page is my personal page. It's got like 27,000 followers almost. And then there's the Uncle Turtleboy page and the Turtleboy Sports page, both of which are slightly over 21,000. Also, Twitter. I've been banned for Twitter for like centuries. And I finally got back on when I got a new computer, a new router, and a new phone. That's all it took. And they let me on Twitter. So go ahead and follow me on there. I'm at Dr. Turtleboy. That's DOCTOR Turtleboy, because if Jill Biden is a doctor, then so am I. Okay, so go ahead and get at me on there. You can also follow me on Twitter at Turtleboy Phone. Either one of those will do. They're both me. Follow me on everything. We're also on Instagram at Turtleboy, or is it? I always screw this one up, Deb.
It's
okay, thank you. So it's Turtleboy at Turtleboy_daily_news at Turtleboy_daily_news. Follow us on there. You know, we also do these on podcasts. We're on various platforms. We're not boycotting Spotify, so that's good. And yeah. Okay. Also, if you have not subscribed already, I need you guys to hit the subscribe button, because we do this every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night at 9 p.m. We always have a review of the big stories of the week, whatever that is. We have guests sometimes, whatever it takes, you know, whatever we got rolling that week. So get at us on there. And, you know, make sure you're subscribing. Am I missing anything here? Am I missing anything there, Deb?
Turtle Chat.
Thank you. So, as you guys know, we are banned from pretty much everything, and that includes monetization aspects on YouTube, which means we can't do the super chat function where people used to be able to, you know, throw money at whoever they like, whatever content creators they like, and do a little message. You used to get a billboard with that. We're banned from using that. So what we did is we went ahead, right, and we built our own Turtle Chat. So what happens, pinned to the top there is a link to something called Turtle Chat. And if you click on that, you can donate whatever amount of money you want, and you can write a little message that comes with it. So I will get notifications during the show in my email about it, and we will bring it up like this. Like this is one from Jack on a previous episode. He said, Carano is Exhibit A of why libertarians are useless in the culture war. They run every time at the first sign of trouble. Completely agree with that one, Jack. So, again, if you like what we do, that's how you can support what we do. You can also join Turtle Club. We do premium streams for club members only on Wednesday evenings. Okay, so that can be purchased in the Turtleboy store, whatever you got to do. Okay, I love you all. We got 104 people in the chat. We need to get that up, folks. So go ahead. I'm not kidding. 104. Some of you are on Twitter. Some of you are on Facebook. Retweet it, share it, interact with it. Let people know we are live. I see one person has liked it. 𝗵𝗵𝘃𝗀𝘆 has liked it on Facebook. I know more of you people are on this, so get on there and like it. Also, what do we got? 100. We got 44 likes. Let's get that up to 100. Every single one of you guys should be liking that. Let's go, folks. Okay. So anyway, let's just go on with the show, shall we, Deb? So, producer Deb's back with us. So I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about the Dave Portnoy thing. So this is a story that I covered back in November when it first happened.
November.
Dave Portnoy is the founder of Barstool Sports. He is obviously wildly successful, worth over $100 million. Built his, he got into blogging early. He literally was out on the streets handing out flyers and shit. Brick by brick, he calls it, right? And he built this media platform that's very popular with younger people, especially college students, people in their early 20s, stuff like that. Once you graduate from Barstool, you kind of come to Turtleboy. That's what we say around here. So, it was, when you become as big as him, though, and he got as big as he is because he's controversial and he tells it how it is, and he doesn't hold back, and he basically speaks like the common man. And that's unacceptable in this day and age. But he's done it in spite of feminists protesting him. He's done it in spite of the media not liking him. And it's impressive. I don't really like what Huffstool has become today. It's become too liberal for my tastes. I've done many rants about that. However, I would say that in this case, I enjoy what he's built. I enjoy his spirit. And I like when people come at him because I can somewhat relate to Dave Portnoy. Obviously, I don't have as big a reach as him, and that's fine. I'm not trying to be Dave Portnoy, but I like his spirit. And when you become, a big shot like him, people are going to come at you. And people have been coming at me for years too. And they come at you professionally. They go at the things you write and they say, oh, he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a sexist. And, they've gone after my advertisers and they've done that whole deal thing. But when that fails, they go after you personally. And this is a new thing that I've started to have happen to me, right? Like previous to this, they used to just kind of focus on the things I would write. And they say, well, this is offensive and this is offensive. And if you watch this, you're a bigot and you're a bad person and blah, 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 blah. But it's changed recently. They've kind of come after you personally once they realize they can't take you down professionally, and they've done the same to him. So Dave Port, he got divorced, I want to say in like 2017 or 2018. And obviously he's a multimillionaire. He could pretty much have any woman he wants. And it seems like he does. And he likes them a little bit young. What do you think of that, Deb? He seems to really like the younger ones.
He really does. It seems, I don't know, just maybe something he's going to grow out of, or just because they're fangirly, like probably the age that just thinks of him as like a celeb, because everybody's obsessed with the internet. This generation's grown up with constant social media. So he's like,
yeah, but I mean, 30-year-old women use the internet too. And 30-year-old women are groupies, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
our brains have already developed. Like, you hit that threshold, whatever.
Please.
Your brains stop, we have a little bit more discretion.
All I'm saying is there's plenty, like he seems to go for the 18 to like 23-year-old range. That seems to be him. And I always said this, I'm like, he's like 44 or something. It's like, what do you talk about with them? Like, so what are you majoring in? Huh?
He doesn't talk at all, probably. He's just like, okay, shut up, do your business.
Well, we've seen all his text messages, so we know what he talks about, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I think it is what it is. And the big thing here to remember is it's not illegal. It's not to me, it's not even an issue. So anyway, Business Insider decides that they're going to write this hit piece on him in November. And it basically interviews a bunch of women. It's like 3 or 4 women who all had sexual intercourse with him. And they all kind of say the same thing, right? He's into rough sex. And to me, it's like, that's okay. So you failed to take him down for his content. And so now you're going to try to paint him as some sort of deviant. And I'll never judge anybody for their sex lives. And I don't get this whole thing. Like, I thought we got rid of this when we elected Clinton and then Trump. Like, both of them became president. But we're still judging people for like their sex lives. Like, who cares? As long as you're not doing anything illegal, as long as the people that you're having sex with are of age. And number 2, that's one thing that's important. They should be of age. And you should not give them drugs. That's the other thing. Like, remember the slave master Steve thing? The sex master, what was his name? Steve Levine, my former realtor. In Shrewsbury, he had the house of many comes. Now, that was problematic because like those girls were on drugs. Like he was literally giving them drugs. They're like teen runaways. And it was really sad what was actually happening. He literally turned them into slaves and like a cult, and they couldn't leave it. And they had like, you know, whipped and shit. Like that was bad. That was not good. And so that's where I draw the line. But if you're just like, a lot of people are into the kinky shit. Like, I don't know about you people. Are you guys into it? I mean, let's just take a vote in the comments right now. Vote 1 if you've ever done anything like involving like choking or anything like that. Anything really kinky like that involves like pain or whatever. Vote 1 if you've done that before. 2 if you haven't. Where's Ralph? Is Ralph still with us or is he gone? I don't know. I know Ralph's a solid one on that one. Go ahead. Deb, no fun Deb. Huh? Suzanne, that's surprising. No? Okay, some of you are into Lone Wolf. I like it. All right. Heidi, excellent. Good stuff. I'm not Giannetti. Well, Giannetti, they'd actually die. No, Giannetti will actually choke you to death. Keep it vanilla, Aaron says. Vanilla Aaron. Pat Curran, okay. Chronic. Justin R is a 1.5. Okay. So at least you people are being honest. Linda, no. Disappointing me. So anyway, that's his prerogative. So they write this hit piece on him, and he refutes all of the claims. He shows that like one of the girls that came to his house was an 18-year-old that actually he kind of outlines it in this blog. So let's just go through the blog a little bit. So can you scroll down? Because they did another hit piece on him, and we're going to get to that. He kind of rips this apart one by one, and I think it's great. So go down a little more. Keep on going till he starts getting to the November article. Okay. All right. So here's the first article in November. He says, star witness number 1. And this person's name, Allison. Unfortunately, it's my daughter's name, but, and it's an alias. And he goes, soon after Allison's encounter with Portnoy, 2 photos, a selfie she had taken with Portnoy and a photo her friend took of her leaving the house began to circulate the island. Both were posted on private Snapchats by her friends, but were then screenshotted and shared widely. Before long, it felt as if the entire island knew what had transpired between them. Allison, who had depression, said she felt stressed and overwhelmed following her sexual encounter with Portnoy and the subsequent attention it got. I guess it was kind of my breaking point. 3 nights after having sex with him, she was suicidal and hospitalized. So what even is the, like, what? So you had sex, you went out of your way to have sex with a celebrity, and then you were surprised that people were talking about it, and now you're suicidal because people are, what? Okay. So that's his fault somehow? Like, so he can't have sex with anyone? What? Anyway, while she was at the hospital, her mother began going through her phone, trying to understand what had happened. After finding Portnoy's messages, her mother called the Nantucket Police Department. She told the police, go put somebody outside his door because you're going to see every day there's some young girl being dropped off. Again, who cares if there is? Like, if they're legal, like what? The police are supposed to go there and be like, oh, look at this guy. He gets laid all the time. We can't have that on our island. No, 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 no. So he goes, her mother wanted to pursue some sort of legal action against Portnoy, but Allison refused. I knew he would drag me through the mud. And so here's the actual police report, which is one of the funniest things I've ever read in my life. So this is what actually happened. And he provides the receipts. Upon speaking with Allison, she stated that she would like, the mother, she would like to stay anonymous. She gave me was the name of blank, stated that she would like to make the police aware of a David Portnoy bad behavior. She stated that she heard that Portnoy only hangs out with 18-year-old girls when he is in Nantucket. He stated that Portnoy is 43 and shouldn't be dating 18-year-old girls. Like, this happened. A real person went down to the police station and was like, he should not be dating 18-year-old girls. I do not approve of this. Can't make this stuff up, folks. Can't make this stuff up. So she goes on, says she wants to give up a heads up. She stated that Portnoy always asks girls to come to his pool house to hang out with them, and that she heard Dave always ask the girls if they are at least 18 years old and willing to have sexual intercourse with them. So he makes sure that they're of legal consenting age before he has intercourse with them. So that's bad now to make sure. What? Would you prefer if he asked if they were 14? What's he supposed to, what? Anyway, goes on. He stated workers from the fish and meat market told her that David Portnoy came there with a different girl every time he goes there. So imagine telling the cops that, like, I heard down at the fish market that Dave Portnoy goes in there with a different girl every time he buys some cod. He does every single time. The fish market? What? It continues. The 19-year-old girl went to Portnoy's house not too long ago and something happened. And now she was in the hospital. Okay. She stated their daughter stated that she has no memory of going there. She wouldn't give me a name or tell me what happened. All she said was she wants to give us a heads up on Dave Portnoy's behavior because she doesn't want this to happen to other young girls on the island. She said we should keep an eye on Portnoy because he shouldn't be dating 18-year-old girls. I told her we haven't gotten any complaints from 18-year-old girls about David Portnoy. However, I was going to talk to my sergeant about what she told me. I then spoke to Sergeant Mack about what he told me, and he suggested I notify a safe place along with the detective units to do a case folder, which I did. Moments later, I called her to give her an update on what the next step would be, and blah, 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 blah. Now, here's the actual text messages between the girl, the 19-year-old girl, and Dave Portnoy. It says, I would do anything. How long are you here for? August 14th. Let's hang out. I'm in Cisco. I'm out. Like, what you doing today? Okay, can we bang? What a lifestyle this guy's leading, huh? He says 18-year-old girls messaging him and saying, okay, can we bang? Are you excited or nervous? Nervous, both. Don't be. It'll be fun. And if you don't want to do anything, we won't. So it's literally like, oh my God. Then he says, how did the bragging go? Imagine being like reaching that status where you're like, you tell a girl that slept with you and like your first question to her a week later is, how did the bragging go when you bragged about having sex with me? I can't, like, what a life. So anyway, this is all consensual. Amazing. I got the word around too. Like, she's like, yes, I was happy to bang you for whatever. And he goes, miss my dick yet? Haha. Of course. So quick about that, right? I've seen a lot of people comment about this and they're like, that's weird. That's weird. Okay. Like, guys, it's time to grow up a little bit. Like, this is just how courtship works now these days. This is what people do. They talk a little dirty on the phone and everybody has their thing. And I'm sick and tired of people judging other people for that. Okay. His thing apparently is saying, miss my dick yet? And she feeds into it. Okay. And it's just their thing. It works out. So stop with the judging, folks. Okay. I'm sick and tired. And it's, by the way, it's ridiculous. He has to post these messages because he has to do it to like prove his innocence, which is absolutely absurd. Consensual. Yes. That's a new word. Consensual. So anyway, let me go on here with this little, blog here. So he goes, I'm shocked that you're still DMing me. Like, what's up, Dave Portnoy? So this is not a victim. This is the woman whose mother. So basically the mother found out that her daughter was, a clout chasing, like 19-year-old who nobody pictures their daughter like that. Like, oh, you know what? I want my 18-year-old daughter to chase around a 43-year-old celebrity on Nantucket to have sex with him so that she can brag to all her friends about that. Nobody's going to be proud of that as a parent, right? So the daughter probably got caught, I'm assuming, by the mother and was like, oh my God, I'm traumatized. Mom, I would never do that. Oh, he got me all messed up. He's a bad person and too many girls are over there. Oh, that's why you got to be careful. Anyway, another one, let's see. This is the second one who said bad things about him. Had a finsta. Do you know what a finsta is, Deb? Have you ever heard of a finsta before?
fake Instagram?
Yes, I did not know what it was. I had to Google it. Apparently,
you
it's
don't know Instagram though. You're not an Instagram.
I don't do Instagram. So apparently, this is what it's. So it's like an alt account. It's an alt account. Yeah. So
Exactly.
it's an alt account, as you call it. And she wasn't posting pictures on her Instagram of him. She was using her Finsta account to post pictures of their time together. She was taking like discrete photos and stuff. And so, as you can see here, he posts some of the images here, or she posts some of the images on her Finsta account. There she is. They're playing Scrabble. And it says, me beating Dave Portnoy in Scrabble. And then it goes down. And she goes, do you see the rating? She goes, yeah. Portnoy was a dick and lame and grumpy. He got a 2 out of 10 from me. If he ever truly pisses me off, I have lots of content to expose with him. I'm going to stick to the athletes. What? And then she goes down. He interviews Trump. And she says underneath that, she goes, okay, not my proudest fuck. Okay, honey. Like, get over yourself. Really? Get over yourself. You got drilled by a celebrity. That's what you do. And by the way, she ended up going on, and as a result of this, she created, so Julia Black, the writer from Business Insider, claims she used fake names to protect these girls. Madison then went on TikTok immediately and identified herself as one of the girls in the story and opened an OnlyFans within 24 hours of the story dropping. And she was the top 1% of OnlyFans girls that week for a free squirting video if you subscribe and turn subscription renewal on. So literally just took this hit piece and is like, oh yeah, follow me. Come, $20 a month. You can watch me squirt away. It's going to be a good time. Yay. But they're victims. So there's a new story that came out. Go down to girl number 1, Kayla. I want to read this to you. All right. So it says, Kayla first messaged Portnoy on Instagram in the summer of 2017. She was 21 at the time, blah, 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 living at her parents in Connecticut. He was 40. To her surprise, she replied. He sent her a DM on Instagram commenting on a photo of her posing in a bathing suit with her dog, saying, mini schnauzer and great ass. Nice combo, he wrote. So again, if you're the kind of woman who responds to that, which is fine, that's his thing. And if you're the kind of woman that responds to a guy that says, nice schnauzer and great ass, like you're basically saying, like, yeah, like he's not going to, I guarantee this guy probably shoots his shot 100 times a day, connects on 30% of them, and he's good. And some, like, he uses the same lines, and it is what it is. Like, I wouldn't want my daughter marrying Dave Portnoy, but it's nothing he's doing is illegal here. So what is even the story? So she goes, the two arranged to meet at his downtown apartment. She told her she was even prettier than her Instagram and Snapchat pictures. He made her a drink and the two chatted on the couch. They started kissing, eventually moving to the bedroom where they began having sex. Kayla said Portnoy immediately became aggressive. She told Insider that at one point he began to choke her so hard she couldn't breathe and that she became frightened. I have never experienced that before, she said. Now get this. This is the same breath, okay? I got to read it. I had to read the sentence a couple times to make sure I was reading it right. She goes, I have never experienced that before. Like, sure, it's fun to get choked a little bit. So you've never experienced choking before during sex. And then 2 seconds later, you're like, yeah, I like getting choked a little bit. What? What? So she likes getting choked. Just don't choke too hard. Just don't choke me too hard. And I'm sorry. And by the way, like, I've read his DMs. He's like pretty laying it out. Like, here's what we're going to do. Are you down for this? Yes or no? I guarantee he must have at some point been like, so you like getting choked? Okay, cool. You into that? He seems rather upfront about it because you can afford to be if you're him. If she says no, he just goes on to the next one. So he says, she was too intimidated to try to push Portnoy off her. I just thought, oh, maybe he would notice that I was like so red in the face because I can't breathe. It's hard to stand up for myself more. It's like, oh, he's so much older. He's famous. She also told Insider that Portnoy pulled her hair so hard that it felt as if he was ripping and slapped her on the butt so forcefully that it left red marks that lasted days. Okay, that's also known as a spanking, I believe is the vernacular for that one. So he gave her a spanking, which has been known, even some of you people that said with the twos there and you don't do the choking, don't tell me you've never done the spanking, okay? That's pretty standard. I wouldn't even say that's kinky. Pretty standard. And it goes on to say, he never mentioned anything. He said, and it left red marks that lasted for days. One of Kayla's friends told Insider they viewed the red marks a few days later. So she pulled her pants down and she's like, hey, look at my ass. Is there still a red mark on there from the spanking? Oh, he spanked me good. Oh, he spanked me good. What? Is this real life? He's so intimidating and he's already so aggressive, and that's scary because I didn't want to make him mad. So I just tried to tough it out and thought, it'll be fine. What? I'm so sick of this about, like, when people say, like, you enter in a consensual sexual relationship here and he starts doing his thing and you start doing your thing, I'm sure too. And then all of a sudden it's like, he's bad because he can't read your mind. If you're in pain, tell him to stop. That's it. Like, what? Anyway, toward the end of their sexual encounter, Kayla said she saw Portnoy holding his iPhone and recording her. I just looked over and he had his phone. He never mentioned anything. Portnoy then propped the phone up on the pillow next to him. Okay, so stop right there. Stop right there, Deb. Quick question, right? So this happens. So this whole thing with the phone, and he's saying, he goes, what do you say? So toward the end of the sexual encounter, Kayla said she saw Portnoy holding his phone, recording her. I'm sorry. So he was holding it the whole time and you didn't notice? Does that make any sense?
Right? Like, okay. What made you just look and see? Like, you know?
Yeah. So you weren't paying attention to his hands before? Like what?
Right. Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. I'm assuming, like he was holding two hands. Now he's not. So that makes you look.
So, because he was spanking. I mean, how many hands does this guy have? He's got 2 hands for choking, right?
Right.
1 hand for spanking, another hand for the phone. This guy?
Somebody else comes in and holds the phone. Yeah.
This guy fucks like an octopus. Like, what the fuck? So and so she says, or like a centipede or something. So he says, I just looked over and he had his phone. So basically, he must have reached for it at some point during sex. And then at any point, like if he starts taping, you're just like, no, right? No, don't do that. She obviously doesn't because he keeps doing it. He never mentioned anything, she goes. So, yeah, I mean, I just find that rather hard to picture in my head. I don't even know what the hell she's talking about. So he says, Kayla remembers thinking it was odd and creepy, but definitely freaked out by it. He never asked, is this good? Is this okay? Are you okay with this? Are you comfortable? Nothing. She's probably because you like being choked. That might have something to do with it. I was still in the same position of just being intimidated by him and kind of letting it happen because I was too scared to speak up. After they had sex, they ate takeout pizza before Kayla took an Uber home. She remembers feeling startled. She told Insiders she was still drawn to his celebrity status at this point, though. Her friends, most of whom didn't know the details of their sexual encounter, thought it was kind of cool that I hooked up with him. She added that she enjoyed the attention that he gave her. About a month later, she asked Kayla to come over. So basically, she's like, yeah, I hated it, but I also loved it because my friends thought I was cool. So what? Did he rate the pizza? I don't know. Did he do the pizza review after like the post bone? I've never seen that. I've seen him do a pizza review live in Cleveland at an Indians game one time. I've never seen him do it naked in bed with a chick though. It was about a month later, he asked her to come over to his apartment. She said she was startled by their first sexual encounter, and I wasn't scared enough to like not talk to him again, if that makes sense. No, that doesn't make sense at all. So you were either scared or you weren't scared. It sounds like you weren't. I just thought, like he wants to see me again. How cool is that? He likes me. I'm good enough to get a second invite. What a hua, as Paulie would say. What a hua. You were good enough for us. Like, I'm so special. I get to get fucked by Dave Portnoy twice. Look at me. I am so fucking cool. None of the other Insta Slam pigs get 2 rides on Dave Portnoy. I get 2. I'm special. I mean, talk about having no self-respect for yourself. So she arrives at about 8:30. Early on, they start standing in the hallway of his apartment when their conversation turns sexual. She said Portnoy suddenly slapped her across the face full force. Okay. I find that a little hard. There had to be some sort of negotiation. You don't just smack a hoe. You can't. That's a big risk to take. No, I find that hard to believe. She was shocked and afraid to speak up. If he can hit me that hard, I was like, I don't want to make you mad. So you're not in his apartment yet. You can go. No one's forcing you to go up. You still went up with him. Her face still stinging. They moved to the couch, started kissing, and got undressed. She then instructed her to get down on the living room rug, where they proceeded to have rough sex. That is weird, Deb. That is the weirdest thing he does, is how he likes the floor. Like,
yeah.
What kind of weirdo, like, you have a bed, couches, all this stuff, and you're like, let's go on the floor.
Especially like, for his age, his knees must be all like ripped up and shit. I don't know.
Right, I'm saying. Like, that sounds horrible. How are you supposed to enjoy that? But I guess he likes it. So that's a completely different kind of muff burn. But back to the story at hand here. She goes, I was like, I don't want to make him, I don't want to make you mad. If you can, blah, 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 blah. After several minutes, Portnoy and 𝗂𝗀𝘆 moved to the bedroom and started having sex on the bed. She said he attempted to have anal sex without her permission, and he disputes this later on. He said that he then placed his iPhone on the pillow next to her. She said she felt too intimidated to ask him to stop recording them having sex. Later, when he showed her the video he'd taken, she realized he'd been filming before she'd seen the phone. What? Okay. Afterwards, they went back to the living room to clean up the blood from her back wound. It was kind of like a what the fuck moment. She was disturbed by how casual Portnoy was about her injury and the blood stains. I remember thinking, I will not come back here. That's it. I'm done. And so she ended up like cracking a rib, I guess. Like legitimately, she went to the doctor and she literally, I mean, talk about rough sex. She cracked a rib. And he throws her all the videos of the sex and blah, blah, blah. This is kind of long, but and she goes, she told insiders she never told Portnoy to stop during the encounters, except during the anal sex times. He made several attempts to meet her in person again, but she refused, using her college schedule as an excuse. She says it took months to process what had happened to her. So that's the key word. Took months to process it. I think it takes some time and being removed from the situation to really realize how fucked up that all was. It all felt very degrading. Even once she came to terms with what had transpired, she said she was too scared to speak with authorities. It's Dave Portnoy, she said. Everybody kind of knows if you go against him, it never turns out well. What the fuck is he in the mafia? It never turns out well. He's basically built his brand around that idea. Like, you don't mess with him. Adding, and by the way, Deb, I would like to point out the mere fact that this woman has not been named by him. It just completely kills that narrative. Like, he's such a big, bad bully. He's going to hurt you if you accuse him. He hasn't even mentioned her name, which he could. Nothing's stopping him from saying her name, right?
Yeah.
So I guess he's not that bad. I mean, it's like, come on. So anyway, back to the story here. Now this is what really happens. He goes, she goes, I always think back to it like, yeah, it was basically consensual, but not the sex I consented to. What the fuck does that mean? Anyway, he claims that she liked the rough sex and that she was aware of the filming and all this stuff. And that she kept coming back to it. Right. And that, remember, she said it was like after a couple months, she needed to process this whole thing. Well, let's go down to the DMs to see the lies that are in this. He's got the receipts here. She went back. Exactly. So, all right. So let's read these DMs. So again, it's a goddamn shame he has to share these, but so she's replying to his stories there. And then in March of 2019, well after the whole, cracked ribs thing happened, she's telling him, she's like, he's like, long time no speak. How's life? pretty good. I got a job this fall, so I'm working over at Hudson Yards at the corporate office. The first thing he asks, sex life, question mark. She goes, some good dick here and there. Some good. Imagine that. Okay, so she's fun. And then he goes, so that's good. Give me a good story. I got fucked in a sauna in a hotel room. By who? Now I'm dying to know. You know him. Do I work with him? No. Okay, who? She tells him. How was it? Where'd you meet? It was really good. We've hooked up a few times. And same way we met. He slid into my DMs. He's aggressive, but like scary aggressive. Tell me about it. He'd pin me down, choke me a little, slap me around a little, bite me, but he likes when I'm in control too. Deb, like, correct me if I'm wrong here, right? She seems to like getting choked.
She's talking about it like this seems to be a fan. Like,
this seems to be a pattern of hers. Like, yeah, like every guy you're with chokes you. And I got to be honest, I've never done the choking. I'll never do it. I think I ain't into it. I think that's weird, but I don't judge people who are into it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know, some people in the comments are into that. That's fine. I've never done that. That's not my thing. But it seems like it's her thing. It seems like it's like she's totally down for this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so a little bit odd. So anyway, back to the DMs here. So she says, he'd pin me down. She goes, rougher than me. She goes, no one can top your aggressiveness. Trust me. When another guy breaks one of my ribs, only then will you have a contender. Ha, ha. So she doesn't sound traumatized by any of this. It's like a joke to her. Like, remember when you fucked my ribs open? Yeah, that was wild. And so he goes, fucking hot. And then he must have sent her a dick pic in here because it's gone. And he goes, you'd appreciate this. And she goes, fucking hot. Figured you'd like it. And then she goes, I miss that dick. So that's obviously his line, right? Like, do you miss my dick? That's his go-to. He's probably said that to hundreds of women, and it is what it is. And again, it's embarrassing. You know, we all have our things. And I cannot stand this idea, right, of anybody who would go and ruin, like, the sex message thing. That should be sacred. That should be sacred. What people say in the privacy of a sex message, like, that should be like revenge porn kind of shit. Like, you should not be allowed to distribute that to anyone. It's like, this is like kind of like in a bedroom kind of thing almost, except virtually. And so you're going to go distribute this stuff, whatever. It's like, I don't want to read that. I think you're the dickhead. I don't care if he says the weirdest shit ever. You're the weirdo for sharing that. You're the dickhead. You're violating his fucking whatever, you know? So he goes on. And he goes, I miss that dick. You still hold the title for most aggressive sex. I like that. He sends her a dick pic and she goes, been a while since I've seen that. Probably time to revisit. Okay. And then he goes, who you fucking nowadays? I've been with this one guy for a little while now. Oh, nice. Good for you. Ha, thanks. Haven't been super consistent with the guy in a while. He's a good time. And then in July of 2020, she goes, good for you. Loving the look. So obviously she sounds traumatized by this, right? Like, she's like, oh, I'm so beat up by him. He choked me and he broke my ribs and it was so bad. And okay. So no, none of that's obviously true. You're a liar. You're a fraud. And they brought receipts. Anyway, according to Portnoy, he then sent this to Business Insider and the reporter named Julia Black. And she just didn't care. Okay. She could have found all this out on herself, and she publishes the story anyway, because Dave Portnoy's biggest crime, he interviewed Donald Trump and he goes on Tucker Carlson regularly, and he just doesn't follow the rules of political correctness, wokeness. He was an anti-lockdown person. He's saying all the wrong things. That's why he must be silenced by these people now. And again, they couldn't take him down for his content, so they're going after his personal life. Sound familiar? We'll get to that. So he goes, the 18-year-old girl. So the second girl they interviewed was 18, but she told him he was 23 and even used her sister's ID and said she was her sister. She gave him the wrong name the whole time. And blah, blah, blah. It's the same complaints here. They met on Instagram. They had a sexual encounter. She has the same complaints about, like, you know, he was using the phone. and that she was like, turned off by it all. She felt trapped. She couldn't breathe because he was so rough on her. She wanted to get away from there. And coming from a victim, she calls herself a victim. So the woman who was 18 when she first encountered Portnoy says she has a message for him. Coming from a victim, he needs to think about the way he treats women differently, especially sexually. He has to think about his impact on them. He needs to know. No, he doesn't. He doesn't need to think about that at all. Actually, that's not what he needs to do. You need to think about closing your goddamn legs and not letting every celebrity dick you see get inside of you. How about that? How about taking some personal responsibility? Okay. He's a celebrity. He's single. And these women are throwing themselves at him. And somehow that's his fault. He needs to think about, he needs to be lectured by the 18-year-old liar, this 𝗲𝗄, who is into getting choked and taped and all this stuff. He needs to get lectured by you about decency. Right. And again, Dave Portnoy, this is why you shouldn't mess around with girls this young. This is ridiculous. You can't, this is, what'd you think was going to happen? Anyway, the real truth, according to him, he goes, this one was stunning to me. I met this girl at a bar after a Celtics game in 2017. She must have had a fake ID since it was 21 plus. I gave her my number and she got back to me a week later. That began a 3-year on and off again relationship. We were never boyfriend, girlfriend or anything like that, but we'd hang out every 6 months or so. What a life this guy leads. All in all, I'd say we'd hooked up 20 to 30 times. When I met the 18-year-old, she lied to me and told me she was 23. She even had me buy birthday candles that had a 2 and a 3 on her cake for her birthday. The only way I found out her actual age was a friend of mine knew her and was like, oh, dude, you're nuts. She's 18 years old. When I asked the 18-year-old about it, she lied and told me my friend was wrong. She went as far as to show me her sister's ID and pretended to believe her. And I did. And so then she sends her a picture. Again, he blurs out the names because he's being the gentleman here. And the caption says, little sister and I. So she's pretending to be the older sister. It's a picture of her and her sister. And she's like, I'm the older one here. I'm the 23-year-old. So here are the actual messages. Let's go down to the actual messages, Deb. There they are. Let's read these. So as you can see here, it says, thanks, Dave. I'm doing good. And remember, she's so traumatized by him. She met him in 2017. Now this is from 2021. Thanks, Dave. I'm doing good and hope you are too. Yours pop up. This is in December. Okay. Yours pop up too at times when I use the app. I actually was going to reach out to you a few weeks ago about a message I received. I don't follow much of what was going on online, nor do I stay in touch with you. Was it a bad message? She says, it was a reporter. I never replied, nor do I know who she's talking about going to school with because I was practically homeschooled. I can show you the message, but I didn't want to put a damper on your day. And she shows him a message here from a reporter at Business Insider named Kat Turnbarge, who says, my name is Kat. I'm a reporter at Insider. And again, like, this is insane. And everything that's wrong with journalism, that this is considered a job. That this is like, this is your assignment. Business Insider. I've never read Business Insider before, but it sounds like you should be writing about business, not who's sticking whose dick where. Like that's none of your business, actually. None of your business, Insider. And so this is what this reporter says. We published a big expose about Dave Portnoy today, and I got a tip from someone who says they went to high school with you. So I got a tip about somebody that you went to high school with and says that you fucked somebody. Imagine getting that call. Like, hey, I know this slut that fucked Dave Portnoy. Here's her number. Give her a call. She can tell you all about the sex that she had with Dave Portnoy. That's news. That's news, apparently. And by the way, I would like to point out, too, if this was a female, if Dave Portnoy was a female, just imagine the outrage that would take place if anybody wrote a hit piece on a woman like this. Like, imagine there's some woman out there who's just going around just collecting dick left and right, just taking it everywhere. and some magazine was like, man, you're a whore. You're a bad person. You like to get fucked a lot. Naughty whore. Imagine the outcry from feminists over that. But it's okay. Dave Portnoy is a bad person. If a woman was doing the same thing Dave Portnoy is doing, feminists would celebrate him. But he's a man doing it, so he's bad. So he says, I don't know them. They just DM me. They said they may have had negative and or underage experiences with Dave that you might have. I heard you might have got fucked by Dave Portnoy. Let's talk. I was wondering if you might be interested in speaking with me. We could take steps to protect your identity. Any conversation, blah, 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 blah. And then she says, he goes, thank you for sending. These people made up lies about me and are trying to destroy my life. It's insanity, blah, blah, blah. Hopeful as well. He goes, yeah, I figured you received similar screenshots, messages weeks ago, and I didn't want to sadden you by sending another to you. I see you have a girlfriend now. That's great. I wish the best for you. Take care. And I think that is it, right, Deb? I think, honestly, to me, that was that line about, I see you have a girlfriend now. That's great. That's the indicator to me. Yeah. I think she was in love with him.
That's
and
great.
She's like, this is what they all do. And it's just like, oh, you have a girlfriend now. I think that's great. I'm so happy for you. Meanwhile, she goes back and it's like, fucking hate this guy. He raped me. Bad. He's so bad. Yeah, right. So I think we got to the gist of it there. So it goes on. He says, then he finds out that she, in January, that she'd been talking to this reporter and was saying bad things about him. She goes, I heard you're talking to Julia Black. That's the reporter who's trying to ruin my life. I didn't believe it because I thought we had a pretty good relationship, but they were convinced and said, you actually hate me. Is this true? And she says, hi, Dave. Other reporters did reach out to me, including Julia Black. She wanted to discuss our relations. And I know she wanted to speak to people that knew me while I knew you. I don't hate you. And if you want to speak to me, I'm happy to have a phone with you. So she's just like, what? And so she turns on him. She basically turns on him. And yeah. So let's go down to final messages here on October 31st, 2019. Can we go to that one? Okay. And how many likes we got so far in this video? We got 89 likes, 196 people watching. Let's get this up to 100 likes, folks. Come on, let's go. Hit that like button. Smash that like button. Anyways, now I'm dreaming of being with you. And again, this is a woman who's traumatized by the last sexual experience she had with Dave Portnoy. What are you dreaming of? Being on you, riding on top, fucking you. And then this is absolutely hilarious. So I guess she's like an astrology person too. So she goes, do you prefer calling my penis a cock or dick? Cock, of course. This week, are you still available to be together? Later in the week, I have availability to come to New York and you. I need to see you. When were you thinking? This Thursday, I'd like to come and see you. I'm so disappointed. I have to travel now for work, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that is due to Mercury being in retrograde. Days after November 20th may work. Sends her a dick pic, of course. And he goes, what do you think? Thoughts on the Speedo? I'm into the packaging and what's being held within. I love that answer. And then she goes, I'm thinking about, this is wild, Deb. How funny is this conversation? This is okay. So I want to hello, Dave. And again, think of this. He had to put this out there for the world to see in order to defend himself. Like Business Insider puts him in this position. He goes, I'm thinking about you, the way you touch my manhood. What do we have? Is this Tom Mountain?
That's what I was just going to say.
Tom Mountain? What is
you should read his messages and I'll read hers and we can
okay, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Okay,
she's the gray, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll
start
be
at hello. Start at hello.
Okay, you have me at hello. All right, here we go. Let me go to the back. All right.
Okay, you first.
What's this whore's name?
Yeah.
We'll call it Christy, because that was the name of
you should call her Chrissy.
Let's just call her Chrissy. We'll call her Chrissy. How about that?
Chrissy's
that's a nice
whore, sorry.
That's a nice whore's name, Chrissy. Right. Okay. So hello, Chrissy.
Hello, Dave.
I'm thinking about you. The way you touch my manhood.
Thought of you is in my mind too. You deserve to be touched for my
I'm growing, thinking about it.
I must be with you soon. I've craved Phil from you.
What?
May I visit and stay with you during this weekend?
I actually need to. Okay, so we can stop there. So now they're getting more. I have craved. Okay, 𝗃𝗃𝘃𝗀𝘆 Phil here. I have craved Phil from you. That's too good. That is the funniest shit I've ever. I've never heard that. I've craved Phil. I mean, she's the Tom Mountain in this situation. She's the one using Tom Mountain language. I've never seen him use. I've seen this guy Sext a bunch of times before. I've never seen him refer to it as his man, except with her. So he seems to adapt to whoever he's sexting. Totally. And in this case, this chick is into like talking like Tom Mountain style. And wow, okay. And so whatever, and they bang, and anyway, they refuse to meet with him. So okay, so I'm done with that. And these, by the way, the reporters never call him back or anything. So the reason I thought this was an interesting story to talk about is because obviously, you know, I don't get what this obsession with people's personal sex lives is. Once they become bloggers who run blogs, all of a sudden everyone's really interested in your sex life. I don't get that. I don't understand, like, what do you care? And I think it's kind of ridiculous. Actually, people want to see a video. Somebody sent me a video here of Tibbetts. Here's a video you could post on Tibbetts premeditating. Okay, I got to see this. Hold on. I guess Tibbetts wants to kill Portnoy. I feel bad even promoting Dave Portnoy. I mean, Billy Tibbetts, because he's like a dangerous person, but I don't know. Actually, I'll post it right here. I was just sent this video, so I haven't seen this yet. We're going to play it. Uno momento. Okie dokie. Do we have any? Let me check the donos. Any turtle chats? We got any turtle chats in the house? Oh, no donos. 2 shows in a row. It's okay. I still love you guys. If you do like Donate No, you like the program, you like what we do, there's a pin thing at the top of it. You can also get me on Cash App. Although I don't, Cash App, I'm $ Uncle Turtleboy. Again, this will always be a free show. And this Cash App dono, I got one a while ago, earlier before the show started. There's $35 for the Bungles to win the Super Bowl. We'll see how that goes. So again, it's always free, but if you guys like what we do, feel free to support us. That'd be really cool too as well. And you get to write whatever you want in the turtle chat, and I'll bring it up. And you can say whatever you want, like talk shit about whoever you want. Man, it sucks not having with the super chat. People would just constantly be. It's so easy. It's right there. Is it because it doesn't show up that people don't like doing it anymore? I don't know, but it's there if you guys want to see it. So let me bring up the video I have here. Give me one moment. Oh man, this is rugged. All right, let's play it.
Billy Tibbetts. And that we never.
What the fuck was that? How does everybody not have a restraining order on Billy Tibbetts? What the fuck was that? Anyway, I brought all this up tonight. Obviously, I thought because like elephant in the room, people have been talking shit about me and worrying about what I'm doing, and you don't have to worry about that. It's all good. What I do in my personal life, and again, I would also like to point out that as much stuff has been put out there about me, don't believe everything you read. Let's just put it that way. with Business Insider, they put out a one-sided hit piece on Dave Portnoy. And what did he have to do to prove his innocence? He had to go through and show all these messages and this embarrassing shit. And I'm not doing that. Okay. I can prove my innocence too. I can prove all this shit. I'm not doing that because I'm not debasing myself to that. And I don't need you guys to read what I've been writing. And it's, again, it is what it is. It's nobody's business. Consenting adults can do whatever the hell they want. And I've broken no laws. I've never been accused of anything. It's all fake news. And oh, that video had no sound. The whole thing had no sound. You guys get the point. He just puts a gun to his head and kicks the shit out of him. And yeah. All right, we got a turtle. We got a dono here. Let me pull this up. This dono, real quick. I don't do the choking, Suzanne, so that's not an issue. Jen says, for Deb's awesome teamwork with the role playing, that was hilarious. Thank you, Deb. I thought Deb did a good job too. Deb, good job. Good job.
Thanks, Jen. Hey, anytime. That was fun. We should do that more often. That was fun as hell. I don't care. Anytime you need like a co-player, I'll do it.
Anytime you need female Tom Mountain, you'll take the role? Okay, good. Good to know. Good to know. All right. So thank you very much for that one. Again, the turtle chat is up there if anybody wants it. So anything salacious they were, yeah, exactly. Not even acknowledging anyone who does anything like that. Okay. Anybody have anything else to say? If you guys have any questions, you can fire away and do a little Ask Turtleboy thing. Go ahead. Let me get this straight. Your dick pics are sacred. Everyone's okay. So that's a fair. So let's talk about this. So Charles Walden, that's a stupid comment. I'd like to say, first of all, really stupid comment, because the people I blog about are people who send something called, say it with me now, unsolicited dick pics. I don't know if you know what that word means because it has multiple syllables and you're obviously a stupid person who needs this explained to you, but I'm going to go ahead and explain it to you anyway, because you're a stupid person. So basically, unsolicited means it's not welcomed. They didn't ask for it. Okay. There is a huge difference if people just like send a strange woman that they don't know on Facebook, like, here's my dick. That's an unsolicited dick pic. That's inappropriate. That's sexual harassment. However, if a woman says, let me see, and they're into that, and I understand, Charles, you've probably never had sex with a woman. This is foreign to you. No woman has ever asked to see that from you. So I get it. This is a weird concept for people like you to understand. But there are women out there that do request that and do enjoy that, right? And that's their choice. And if the man reciprocates as part of the courting process, right? Or we call it foreplay, you call it a number of things, call it whatever you want to call it. But they do it and it's all good. So yes, stupid. There is a huge, huge difference. You're just too dumb to know it is. Boom, roasted. Next. Any other questions you got? Fire away. Any other questions? Tibbetts is probably waving a BB gun. Yeah, probably. Oh, I guarantee Tibbetts is not a real gun. I'm not even worried about that at all. Exactly, Jen. You get it. Unsolicited dick pics are completely different from solicited. Oh, and we got some donos here. Let me read these donos. Get to these donos. Here we go. Yeah, Q&A is the best part of Turtle. Let's see. Okay, so this is from Turtle Cadet 100. He goes, Deb is doing a great job. And we need more of a prescription for the Tom Mountain voice. Absolutely. We got 25 for Sean, says producer Deb. Wow, for executive producer. You're popular tonight, Deb. And then for Pam, she just says, have a great night. Well, thank you, Pam. That's the plan. I appreciate that very much. So, Deb, you're doing well here. You might be a more permanent role.
Awesome.
Yeah, so keep up the good work. So anyway, back to the Q&A here. Does anybody else have any more questions that they would like to ask me? Fire away if you do. And Deb, if you see any good ones, feel free to bring them up on the screen. I'll answer them. Okay, if you could live your life over again, would you still want to be Turtleboy? Oh yeah, except I'll tell you the difference here, Heidi, is I would have done it a lot earlier. I would have started. First of all, I never would have gone to college, or maybe I would have gone to college and then just not gone to class and just done Turtleboy all the time, right? Like that's one thing I would do is just focus. I would have created the blog much earlier. Put it that way. I wasted my time going to college. I did have a good time. I partied a lot. I made a lot of good friends, but I didn't really need any of that. I could have just started the blog. And so that's one thing I would do differently is just create Turtleboy much easier. Absolutely. Did you change your number? Yes, I did change my number, Charles. I texted you that. I did change my number. That was me. Can Turtle Cadet co-host? You can come on sometime. You give him a shot. Has he ever inquired about that? I'm not sure. Anybody else have any other questions? What do you think of the honking? Oh, I love it. Up in Canada. So they're talking about the truckers who are driving through Canada honking. They're clogging up the streets of Ottawa in protest of COVID restrictions. I love it. Obviously, I love it. And I love what it's done to Justin Trudeau and all these pussy ass liberals who are, by the way, they're upset because they're going, the liberals now are going after Holiday Inn because they're letting these people stay in hotel rooms there that they're paying for, as opposed to, dying in the frozen Canada winter. That's what they want them to do, I guess. I don't know what they want them to do. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? What do you think about the former Dolphins coach? I thought, so he's talking about Brian Flores there. And in that case, I would say, so Brian Flores, first of all, I thought he never should have been fired by the Dolphins because the Dolphins were the worst team in the league, right? They were the worst team in the league when they first got there. And then he won 5 games anyway, which I guess they were upset about. Then the next year they won 10 games. They won 10-6. They almost made the playoffs last year. And then they went 9-8 this year, but that was after starting 1-7, which is actually pretty goddamn impressive when you think about it. They swept the Patriots. So I didn't even think he was on the hot seat, but they fired his ass. And I think he's being ridiculous right now. This racial discrimination thing. He's mad that he's being treated like the token black candidate because the Rooney Rule requires NFL teams to interview a black person for every coaching position. And, obviously what people should have realized when that rule was instituted is you're just going to bring in the token black guy in here. We're just going to humor him. That's almost more insulting than anything. And so Brian Flores has become the token black guy that has to go to all these goddamn meetings. But how do you prove that you're the token black guy? Well, he got a text message from Bill Belichick that he meant to send to Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator for the Bills, who got the Giants coaching job. And it said, congratulations, Brian, on getting the gig. But he meant to send it to Brian Daboll, but he sent it to Brian Flores. And so Brian Flores is like, I got the job. I haven't even interviewed yet. And he's like, yeah, I talked to the Bills. He's like, Coach, I think you texted the wrong person. He's like, oh, fuck. So basically the jig was up. That's when he realized that he was the token one. Now, I'd be pissed about that too, but it doesn't mean that the Giants are racist. It means the Rooney Rule is stupid. You should be more offended that the stupid Rooney Rule is wasting your time, because that's the reason they're calling you in, is they are literally wasting your time. Okay. Anybody else have any more questions? Well, Belichick that really was the ultimate boomer move on Belichick's part. I got to agree with that. Can you get Gupta? Oh, good call. We got to get Gupta back on air. Is Gupta in the house right now? I don't know. Gupta doesn't really watch the show every night because he's got to run the Hindu mark, but we got to get him up there. We definitely got to get him back up there. Anybody else? What do you think of do you think Whoopi Goldberg should have been fired? Yeah, I mean, if we're going to be consistent about shit, right? Absolutely. But guess not. You know, she got a 2-week suspension, and they're mad about that. They're like, that's extreme. Because she's a black woman. She's a member of 2 protected classes. So the rules do not apply to her. Have you heard from Gerry? No, I have not. And I'm kind of waiting for Gerry to call me. It's like, you can't, I mean, I volunteered on his show for 2 years. Okay. I volunteered on his show for 2 years. And you don't even call me? Like to say, like, you're done here? You tell me on a podcast. So I feel like I'm kind of like being stubborn. Like, I feel like he should be calling me, you know, to let me know that it is what it is. Okay. Any other questions? Let me check the donos. Give me 1 sec. You brought, exactly. I feel like I definitely feel like I helped the show. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I haven't listened to it since. I have no desire to listen to Carano. Oh, we got a couple more donos here. Let me pull those up. Share screen. A turtle chat here says, from Martha, for more Tom Mountain dialogues with Deb. That was a big hit tonight, I guess. Suzanne says, let's confuse him. 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Again, and I have nothing against Gerry at all. It's nothing personal, but at the same time, it's like I feel like you should call me, but I'm sure we'll be fine. How about a new AG candidate that has a family history of incarceration? Who's that? Is that Andrea Campbell? Because with her brother, the rapist. I mean, what does that surprise you? She's a standard Democrat. Standard Democrat. I applied for the Callahan producer position. If I get it, I'll pitch to have. Oh, did you really, Charles? Did you really? You got the time for that? You got the time for that? Interesting. Curling. No, I like indoor speed skating. That's what I like the most. The Winter Olympics kind of suck. But it is what it is. Let's see. Blog coming on Shiloh. Yes, I do. I do have her identity, and I will have a blog coming on tomorrow for sure. Are the Holden schools closed tomorrow? Yes, they are. I don't. Is it supposed to be that bad tomorrow? I don't even know. So, any more questions you guys have? Let me check the donos. Thank you for the donos. Those picked up kind of late. Happy to see that. That's pretty cool. Love you guys. I heard Giannetti is, Giannetti, if there's one thing he doesn't stand for, right, it is misinformation, because he got the best sauces. You can't say shit about Giannetti. Anybody else? Oops. What happened? I don't even know what's going on there. I think somebody, are we getting hacked again? I don't know what's happening. Anybody else? Let's see. All right. So I guess we will. How do you get rid of ads that take up a third of the page? Well, you can get the ad free, but you should be able to X out of them. I mean, all the ads can be X'd out of. So you should be able to see that. So, okay. Anybody else? Hackers, I know, these goddamn hackers. I do have it. I'll have it tomorrow. It's that Deb. Deb, what is happening back there? What is going on? I don't know who's doing that, but I have no control. I just run the show, guys. I just write the blogs. Okay. Any more questions you guys have? Anything at all you want to ask me? Fire away. The browser settings. Yeah, I think so. I think it might be the browser settings that's causing these technical difficulties we're having. Not entirely sure. All right. Anything else, guys, you want to talk about? I think we're good then. So thank you guys for coming on to the show. I appreciate it. Deb, you were a big hit tonight.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
And we will see you guys all. I think I'm going to be doing the live show Sunday. I have plans on Saturday, so
Cool.
you know, life happens sometimes, believe it or not. So probably going to do the live show Sunday night. So stay tuned for an announcement with that, and we will see you guys all on Sunday night. Peace, Turtle Riders.
Have a good night, everyone.